بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على نبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه أجمعين فما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ayman, and I would like to share a story that's very touching to myself and many people around me. The story is of how I ended up getting stabbed and becoming closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It started off from, it was a Monday, I was looking for a job. Alhamdulillah, the period with me looking for a job, it wasn't a long period. I got my first interview on a Tuesday. So from a Monday, I started looking for a job. On a Tuesday, I got an interview. Decided to go for an interview. Alhamdulillah, wearing my suit and everything. I wanted to be a construction worker from young. I've always wanted to work in construction. I've wanted to do something constructive, something with my hands. And it came to a point where I had the interview and I got the job. They wanted me to start literally the next day. I started the next day, alhamdulillah. And it led for me to basically be so excited and so overwhelmed that I decided to go home. Astaghfirullah, I decided to go and do my shopping regarding get a hard hat, get my boots, my high vis, and then decided to go home, told my family of the good news and everything. And it went well. The next day, I went to work. Alhamdulillah, it was great. My manager told me what I wanted to do, and I said to him, I'd rather do, because I'm qualified in construction, meaning I'm qualified in bricklaying, carpentry, painting and decorating, plastering. I'm qualified in all of these, and from college that I used to go to. And I decided to basically do everything in one day without no break. So I was meant to finish at 6 o'clock, from 8 to 6. I decided to finish at 5 o'clock so I can have 1 hour early. Instead of going home at 6, I decided to go home at 5 and to finish 1 hour early. And at the end of the day, I decided to be a bricklayer. And I signed a contract to work for a company. And I signed a contract to say, you know, from now on, I'm going to be a bricklayer, inshallah. And that was my goal. My dream came true. And then it got to a situation where I left central London to go back to southeast. I went to the masjid to pray my Salat al-Asr because it was around the times where I needed to pray. And before getting into that, I want to talk about my time before this whole situation, before I got into work, before I was working as a security in the Olympics. I did the Olympics with my older brother. And the area that I lived in, before the stabbing, it was a rough area. I was from southeast London, an area called Lewisham. You know, knife crime is very serious there. And in 2013, it was known to be the most unpeaceful place in the UK, or I think London. It was on 2 stabbings a day on average. So it was quite bad. You know, everything was, you know, by the will of Allah. And you know, I come from Iraq, and I came here from when I was 7 years old. My father brought us over here to basically have a better future. Have a better future, and maybe inshallah have a move on from there. And what happened was that, you know, we was brought up in the wrong area. So alhamdulillah, we can say that we decided to basically, how can I say, basically move from within the area but move to different areas within the short amount of space. And it came to a point where people started doing unnecessary things for attention, like robbing mobile phones, you know, making a gang, deciding to make a name for themselves. And the thing is, within London itself, when it comes to gang, what it is, it's like, no, you don't have to have a personal issue with someone to get attacked. You might speak to someone that has a problem with a gang member, or has a problem with a gang, or has a problem with this person due to money issues. This is how it is. And with my situation, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the person that ended up stabbing me from after Salatul Asr, from when I prayed, coming back from work, it was my first day at work. I enjoyed it, I loved it. It was my future job. I've always wanted to do this, and inshallah, I wanted to have my own company by the age of 26. I'm only 22 now. I got stabbed when I was 21. I wanted to have my own construction company, inshallah, by the age of 26 or 27. And my construction company would have been based on youth. People that, because I'm a youth myself, so I know it would have been a struggle for young people to basically get into work. So I would have helped them and tried to, diffuse the situation regarding them into getting problems regarding gangs or anything like that. And then straight after Asr, I decided to go and get a little snack because I haven't had nothing to eat all day. On my way to the shop, I was with a brother. And then as we got closer, something didn't seem right to me. Something did not seem right at all. So what I did, I let the brother in front of me walk ahead of me, just in case if there was any problems. I wouldn't want him to get hurt, or I wouldn't want myself to get hurt. So I let him walk in front of me. The brother ended up saying hello to this person. And as soon as this person turned around, it was someone that I knew from school. He was a couple years younger than me. It was someone that I knew from school. We didn't have a problem. I didn't know that I had a problem with him, which I don't. I didn't know he had a personal problem with me. And until this day, only Allah knows what the real issue was. Because I look at it as in the sense where everybody wants good for you until you become better than them. And I feel like people saw that I'm moving on. I'm trying to better my life. They can see my future's looking bright. I've just had my future job. So I think this is the reason, maybe, Allahu A'lam, this is the reason why I ended up getting stabbed. And I decided to speak to this person, saying, how are you, how is things with you, what are you doing with your life? And then I told him, look, it's my first day at work, I'm happy, alhamdulillah. He's not Muslim, but alhamdulillah. As soon as I turned around, it wasn't even a step. It wasn't even a step. As soon as I turned around, he ended up stabbing me. And where he stabbed me was right here. And the knife literally went horizontal. So from here, it came out of my belly. So this was the distance of the knife. This was the distance that the knife traveled through. It went through my blood vessels, the main nerve that I have in my leg. So now I got a nerve damage running on the left side of my body from my pelvis going down. And I'm constantly in pain. And I'm under so much medications that I have to take. And right now I suffer from the nerve damage and a colostomy bag. I got a colostomy bag on my belly. And this is something that I don't know if I'm going to live with for the rest of my life. And I pray I don't, inshallah. And what happened from the moment that I got stabbed, which I didn't know until later on, that this person tried to stab me another 2 or 3 times. But alhamdulillah, I dealt with this situation very well. As soon as I got stabbed, I moved back. I did try to swing for him. I did try to maybe defend myself by bringing I took off my hard hat and I threw it at him. And then after that, I decided to run into the chicken shop that I just walked past. I didn't eat nothing, but because of this person, I was greeting him and speaking to him. And then as soon as I got to the chicken shop door, that's when I, collapsed. And the brothers in there, mashallah, they're very helpful. They decided to come to my aid, and put my head on their lap. And the only thing I was saying regarding this whole issue, regarding this whole situation, was my shahada over and over again. And wallah al-azim, I have never in my life felt peace out of my 21 years of living until the day I got stabbed. And if only Allah knows what would happen to me if I died around that time. When I was going through that and I was bleeding constantly and I was in pain and I knew something was wrong, And when I got to the hospital after the operation, I found out that my bowel got punctured, and the feces, you know, the waste was all in my belly. It was, and it's a disgusting feeling. But alhamdulillah, I made it through. Until now, I still have nerve damage. I should be on crutches, but alhamdulillah, some days is my good days, some days is my bad days. Some days I can't come out of my bed, and some days I can walk around or maybe even jog. But some days it's so painful where I can't even have my cover on top of me due to how sensitive the left side of my body is. But alhamdulillah, but it's just the bag. This is where I got the colostomy bag. And you know, I have to change it regularly. I have to take medication to make the pain under control. So when I got to the hospital, they pulled me through the X-ray. I wasn't scared whatsoever, because to be honest, no one wants to die young. But for some reason, if I did go, I think I would have been happy because I felt peace. Some people always ask me, like, how did it feel? It felt like I got punched. But I never felt the knife going in me, but I felt the knife coming out of me because I saw my flesh on the knife. And what it was, the blood was like boiling water. It was like boiling. It was so hot. And that's when I knew I got stabbed. When the blood was rushing down my leg, and I felt that it was very hot. And as I was running towards the chicken shop, I was losing so much energy, so much. And I was getting dizzy. I was, you know, stumbling. And alhamdulillah, it was great. And I say to myself, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take me out of my future job, the one thing that I needed in life, the one thing that I've been working for all my life, is to become a construction worker. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took that away from me to bless me with something much more. And wallahi, all my life, I've never been so closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've never felt so happy. And since the stabbing, a month or 6 weeks after that, I met my wife. And she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Wallah al-Azim, Islamically, she's made me gain so much knowledge. Right now, alhamdulillah, I am married to her. I got married not too long ago, about a couple months ago, alhamdulillah. And even though when I was talking to her, she wasn't in this country, she was in the Middle East, she used to call me just to make sure I pray my salah, even though she's not even in the same country. And she used to give me so much advice, and that's how it started off with. She started giving me advice, and then that's when I told her about my situation. And you know, since then, alhamdulillah, it was history. She's made me the man I am today. And since she's been in my life, wallahi, I've lost so many people. So many people. And it's like no one's happiness for me. No one sees that I'm happy. No one sees that, you know, even though I've had so much support, and I thank every single person that supported me. May Allah reward them, Ameen. Muslim or non-Muslim. May Allah reward them. But since she's come in my life, she's opened doors to me. And she wants, you know, she's always been that person. She's not just my wife, she's my best friend. She's my partner. You know, she's I wouldn't want anything else apart from her. Wallah al-Azim, I wouldn't change her for this dunya and everything in it. I wouldn't exchange her for this world and everything in it. I wouldn't, Wallah al-Azim, and she knows this. And people around me know this. And I've lost so many people. They've betrayed me. Even though since I've met my wife, I've seen people's true colors. Because of, like I said, everybody wants good for you until you become better than them. And this is how it seems. People see that I've become religious. And they don't like that. Even Muslims, the closer you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people decide, the Muslims decide to go their separate ways. It's like they don't like you being religious. For what reason? I do not know. We are all Muslims. But alhamdulillah, my wife, I got married to her. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I take it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took that job away from me to grant me something much better. Because they say that your soulmate, your wife is someone that completes your deen. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for me. He's completed my deen, and I've never been this closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never in my life of 22 years of living. And I've never been this happy. I just wish people can see this and accept me. And my goal now, honestly, brothers and sisters, I do not know. I do not know, but I do want to go and study in the Middle East, inshallah. I am originally from Iraq. I have lost my language, the Arabic language, a bit, and I need to work on that. I do want to go to the Middle East, inshallah, to Saudi Arabia, or somewhere in the Middle East to study, to relearn my Arabic, to learn the Qur'an, to learn the Hadiths, and move on from there. And inshallah, you never know, I could be a sheikh one day giving lectures. It's only in Allah's will, because right now, I don't know what I want in life. And this is what gets to me, because I want to provide for my family, I want to provide for my wife. And she encourages me to be a better Muslim, not even just a better person, a better Muslim. And I don't want to be sitting all day feeling sorry for myself because of this colostomy bag and the nerve damage. I want to go there and do something, because I want to provide for my wife. And inshallah, provide for the family that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless us one day. But she doesn't let me. She just tells me to rest. And I had a surgery not too long ago. It was an emergency surgery in March the 17th. My scar tissue blocked my bowel. And then I had to go into an emergency surgery. They removed the majority of my bowel. So 2/3 of my small bowel has been removed. My intestines is gone. So right now, all I have is my big bowel that runs around the belly, and I've got the colostomy bag. And it's hard dealing with this, because I constantly have to change it, and I can't control it. Meaning, once the food is turned into waste, it comes out, and there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to change in the bag, and it's very uncomfortable, because I have a wife. And I don't know how it feels for, on her side to be with someone that has this. But alhamdulillah, she makes me feel like I don't even have it. She makes me feel like that I've never been stabbed, that I've never went through the issues that I've went through in my life. So I encourage the brothers and the sisters to get married as early as possible, to be honest, because wallahi al-azim, you don't know what you're missing out. I'm only 22 years old. My wife is older than me. Alhamdulillah, my wife is 27 years old. And some brothers have said to me, isn't it weird, isn't it, don't you feel different knowing that your wife is older than you? It's because of her. And I didn't even know her age until further down the line. It's because of her. She's made me rise my iman. She's made me get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So age is only a number. And alhamdulillah, to me, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever come across. After my mother, obviously. But alhamdulillah, she brings out the best in me, and I can't complain. And regarding this whole issue, there's nothing else I can ask for. Alhamdulillah, Allah took me from one thing to grant me something completely different. I do want to work. My wife is not letting me. She's not encouraging me to work. She tells me I still need to rest. I still need to recover, but I do want to work. I do want to do something practical. I don't want to be sitting down doing nothing and feeling sorry for myself. And alhamdulillah, and I want to say to the brothers and sisters, if I've hurt anyone, knowingly or unknowingly, if you're a Muslim or not, please forgive me. Please forgive me. And if you've got a problem with me and if I've got a problem with you, I just want to know that I forgive you all, regardless of what you said. Even those that betrayed me, since this stabbing, there's a lot of people that went against me for so many reasons. But I just want to say, I forgive you, and I hope you forgive me for things that I've said knowingly or done knowingly or unknowingly. We're all trying to be a better Muslim. So if you see your Muslim brother and sister doing better than you in Islam, don't try and go against them. Trying to be like them, learn from them. And this is what's happened to me. I've become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's led me to lose friends, Muslim friends. It's led me to lose friends that are not even Muslims, but alhamdulillah, they was very close to me. What can I say? This all started, I feel like all this 21 years of my life, I was never born, because I didn't see the real reality that we're living. My life started from the day I got stabbed, because that's from the day I got closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my life was a blessing. I knew my life was a blessing from the day I got stabbed. And I want to thank all the doctors, even if you come across this video or not, the doctors, the nurses, they do a lot, you know, they do a lot. And, you know, after I came out of the hospital, I decided to go back. I thanked them personally, you know, and they did do a lot, and not a lot of people appreciate them and the work they do. And my doctor, the person that witnessed this, is when I first came into the hospital, they didn't know what was wrong. So they decided to say to everyone, I'm okay. There was so many people. I heard there was like 60, 70 people that just come around the hospital, or much more. People came, and then the doctor said, look, he's stable now. We're gonna get people to see him 2 by 2. So just line up. And then as soon as, before the first 2 people to come and see me, they found out that I've got internal bleeding. As everybody was getting happy and excited, thinking I'm okay, they decided to see me getting rushed out of into a ward, me getting rushed out of the ward, and I'm going into theatre. And then this is when the panic started. This was on Wednesday, and I had internal bleeding. This when they found out that I got a colostomy bag. And then they said that I stopped breathing, and my heart stopped on so many occasions, and then they had to use the machine to bring me back. But this is what gets to me the most, because people need to understand that not even the machine of this dunya, nothing in this dunya will bring you back to life apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that didn't happen. And then they ended up putting the sheet over me to say they didn't know how to come and inform my family and friends that they tried to do the best they can to bring me back to life. But it didn't happen. And then as soon as the doctors pronounced me dead, and one of them was just about to leave the theatre room to go and inform my family and friends that they tried their best. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did a miracle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did a miracle, and He brought me back to life, and the machine started making the noises again. Beep, beep. The doctors couldn't believe it. They came back to my aid. They decided to put me in surgery straight away. And alhamdulillah, I am here today. And alhamdulillah, my doctor was an atheist for 48 or 49 years. I can't remember the exact age. And this miracle made him look into a religion, made him look into Islam and find, look, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did 2 miracles that day. 1 is to bring me back to life, and 2 is to let this atheist, this person that hasn't believed in Allah or God for 48 years of his life, for him to witness this, it's made him want to look into Islam. So alhamdulillah, it's a miracle. And from there it's history, and I am here today, and I can't complain. And all I ask for, and this is not a cry for help, I don't want nothing from anyone. There's one thing that I ask for, and that's your du'as. Just make du'a for me and my family, and the whole of the ummah is in my du'as anyway. So that's all I ask for, is your du'as, inshallah. And I want to thank you all for looking at this video, and inshallah this encourages you to be a better Muslim. If not a better Muslim, a better person, inshallah, for those that are not Muslim, to be a better person. And just know that regardless, even if you're in a good situation or bad situation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always there. So always turn to Him, always turn to Him. Regardless if you're going through something that's amazing or hardship, because with every hardship comes ease, brothers and sisters. So that's all I want to say. I want to thank the brothers that are videoing me and filming me, for traveling so far to come in and meeting me in London. I want to thank every single person that makes dua on social media and has sent me messages. And just please make dua for me that I get this reversed, because I don't feel normal. My wife makes me feel normal, but I still don't, in my heart, I still don't feel normal. And I just please remember me in your du'as, inshallah. And that's all I can say for now. And alhamdulillah for everything. And alhamdulillah for being where I am today. And I'm here to tell my story. And I'm here to share the miracle and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's all I want to say, inshallah. And just keep me in your du'as, and that's all I'm going to ask for. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.